For today's Cyber CEO episode,
my Cyberbacker is just like Wonder Woman to me. She does a lot more than just keeping me compliant, and she's open to taking on multiple tasks. A lot of times I wonder how she does the things that she does in the time that she has. I would just say go-getter, very intelligent, and just on the ball, very efficient, and I'm very grateful for her.
welcome to Cyber CEO, wherein we talk about how our cyberbackers helped our cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. Cyber CEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. Another awesome day here at Cyberbacker. My name is Jello. We're back with another episode of Cyber CEO. And of course, we have a very special guest coming back to the show. Ruben, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
Yes, I'm doing great. Thank you very much for asking and for coming back. I know you have a lot of things to do. Really appreciate you being on the show. Now, I need your help once again. A lot of business owners out there who watch and listen to the show. Can you introduce yourself to our audience, Ruben?
Yeah, absolutely. So name is, of course, Ruben. I'm a local realtor here in South Jersey in the Ocean County area, and I've been doing real estate for over 8 years, helping people buy, sell, and invest in real estate.
There we go. 8 years in the business. A lot of experience for you right there. How about working with remote team members or virtual leverage? How long have you been doing that?
So this is coming over just a year with my virtual assistant. And with Cyberbacker, actually, it was actually my first go at it. I've been doing everything, all my back office, working in and on the business myself, one person show.
Oh, so the whole time that you were in real estate before Cyberbacker, you did everything on your own?
Did everything on my own, yes. And I had one individual, a person in staff, if you will, for about a year. Yes, a physical in my office. So I did have an assistant before Cyberbacker, actually just before Cyberbacker.
Just before Cyberbacker. Now, let's talk more about that. How did you find out about Cyberbacker anyway?
So I got an email from you guys. And so I actually spoke to leadership over at 𝗙𝗃 and I asked them, hey, have you guys ever used Cyberbacker? You guys know anything about them? I got an email. It seems like they're affiliated with KW. Are they any good? And my office and team leaders had used you guys before. And so I figured, okay, they had some good things to say. So I figured it was worth taking the shot.
There we go. So what pushed you then to go through, talk to Cyberbacker, get virtual help, I mean?
Yeah. So for me, it was coming towards that glass ceiling, if you will, that plateau more. So of just not being able to do more because I only had so much time in a day, right? And it's only me that's doing everything. So I needed to leverage an individual in order for me to get my time back so that I can go ahead and hopefully grow my business.
And create more business, of course.
Of course.
Now, what are these things that you didn't want to do, didn't like to do, that you now leverage off to your Cyberbacker then?
Sure. So I did not want to be in the office doing paperwork, filing files away just to be compliant, and dotting my I's, crossing my T's on all documents. And so that was very big as far as virtual help, having someone just take care of all of my back office stuff. So making sure I'm compliant in Command, which is a background platform that we use over at 𝗙𝗃. And so, yes, I started jotting down the amount of time it took me just to file all of my files, even if it was virtually. I wasn't having physical paper, but even virtually, that was time that I was losing working in the business versus on the business.
All right. So you also mentioned earlier, you've already been working with your Cyberbacker for a year now. Have there been any challenges? Because I know you and I can both agree on this. No partnership is really that perfect, right? There would be little challenges here and there. So what were some of the challenges that you've had and your Cyberbackers have had?
So the challenge is always that first initial learning curve, right? And having the Cyberbacker understand how I do things versus how maybe they've done things for other people in the past. how maybe Cyberbacker has trained them to do things. So there was learning how to do things the way that I do it, and then also allowing my Cyberbacker to give me any input on how maybe they feel I can run a little bit more efficiently. So that initial startup, just learning of what I wanted to be done and how I wanted it to be done was, of course, that's the longest kind of feeler, if you will. And then there's two different personalities, right? So I've ran my business by myself for so many years. To have someone now take my baby and give them, access to doing these things and trusting them, of course, there was a little bit of worry in that regard. However, my Cyberbacker took the responsibility, ran with it, and she ultimately learned very quickly. She has you guys, and I'm thankful for you guys that train her as well if there's any issues that do come up. So some of the stuff is just, back to the command platform, right?
True.
How do we stay compliant? How does Keller-Williams want me to stay compliant? And then what are some of the processes? When I list a property, what are some of the forms? What are some of the processes that myself have when I list a property, or even when I work with a buyer? And so those are some of the things that we initially had to kind of work through.
So a few challenges here and there, because again, there are no challenges, then there's no really room for growth, right? But again, of course, it's part of the journey, right?
Yep. Absolutely. And a lot of times, as they say, you have to take one step back in order to take two steps forward. And so, it took some time. Of course, I had to dedicate some time, and we had to, I had to instruct her on how I wanted things done, like I said. So there was that learning curve.
It's like an investment, investing in your Cyberbacker. And that's right. The most important thing is your time. Again, teaching them how you want to do things and why you want it that way, right?
Right. Exactly.
Now, next question. Talk to me about your Cyberbacker. Describe it to me. Describe your Cyberbacker to me in a few words.
Oh, geez. So my Cyberbacker is just like Wonder Woman to me. She does a lot more than just keeping me compliant, and she's open to taking on multiple tasks. And, a lot of times I wonder how she does the things that she does in the time that she has. So she, that I would just say, go get her, very intelligent, and just on the ball, very efficient, and I'm very grateful for her.
There we go. Love what you mentioned earlier, Wonder Woman. There, she's your Wonder Woman. Now, yes. Seems to me that you already created a very strong partnership with your Cyberbacker. So for sure, some of our listeners are going through this for the first time, working with someone virtual, again, virtual help. Sure. So do you have any tips that you can share on how you created a strong partnership with your Cyberbacker, Ruben?
Yeah, I think initially your guys' vetting process and how you actually give any person interested in a Cyberbacker that individual Cyberbacker's profile is really helpful, because now I know that individual's strengths, that individual's weaknesses, their style, right? It's basically their character broken down for me, their resume broken down for me. Yes. So now, at least on paper, I have an idea of who I may want to work with. And then the what I call the speed dating process of hiring, right, that you guys offer, really, I can appreciate, because for me, I know what I want, and I'll know very quickly what I want. And I already have at least the homework that you guys gave me. And being able to now know the questions I need to ask them in order to find out whether it's going to be the right fit. And I think that initial process is what helped me anyway set myself for success with my Cyberbacker. And your system, it has proven to be true. We both mesh well together. It's the right fit since day one, and I've got no complaints.
I think the fit is really important in any kind of partnership, may it be in business or friendship, things like that. A fit is very, very important. But why do you think so? If you don't have the same values as your Cyberbacker, do you think this partnership would have worked out?
I don't think so. No. So, one of the things for me was I want to tap into the luxury market, right? Or grow, more market share in the luxury market. And so one of the things was for my Cyberbacker, are they familiar with luxury brands? What are their favorite luxury brands, right? If they don't even have any insight into what that means, what luxury means, or what are luxury brands, and I know it's not a right fit, because we're not going to attract the clients that I'm looking to attract and do business with. And so I think knowing that individual, their style, and us meshing well only helps us grow together. Whereas if you're kind of opposites, right, it may work out in the relationship in the dating world, but maybe not necessarily in the business. You may butt heads. You're in two separate paths, two different books, two different chapters, right? Two different libraries.
Yes, definitely agree with you there. Now, again, as I mentioned, I can already feel that strong connection, that strong bond between you and your cyberbacker. So what I'd like to know is if you would rate your partnership with your cyberbacker, 10 being the highest. Let's just say 10 being the highest.
Sure.
What would you rate it and why?
So my cyberbacker, I don't have anyone to use as a barometer. However, I would give, I would say anywhere from an 8 or a 9. I'm a stickler for a 10 because there's always room for progression. There's always room for right improvement. So I'm just one of those that I wouldn't even give myself a 10, right? So between an 8 and a 9.
There we go. Now, one last question. This is something that's very exciting to me because, again, we're all about growth of the business, growth of the partnership that you have with your cyberbacker. What are some of the future goals that you have with your cyberbacker and with you and your team? I mean, more business, things like that. Tell me more.
Yeah, so I am looking to, of course, always grow in every aspect of my business. And of course it is. And that's the reason why I took on a cyberbacker, is to grow my business. So I'm looking to double down. I am looking to double my business. And how do I do that? I leverage people so that I can get some of my time back and ultimately work on the business, not in the business. And then, the next thing is really taking away some of those marketing and advertising, tasks away from me as well. So again, it's just a matter of just leveraging that individual, my cyberbacker, so that I can go ahead and get more time.
There we go. Now, again, as I've mentioned earlier, we're very excited to see where this partnership grows to, of course, for the next couple of months and the years to come, Ruben. We really appreciate your business. Thank you again for dropping by today.
Yes, not a problem. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to our daily dose of CyberCEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. You can visit our website www.cyberbacker.com and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Spotify.